Equestrian Rider of the Year, Bruce Davidson. World Equestrian Rider of the Year, Bruce Davidson. Lady Rider of the Year, Lauren Kiefer. Point 2, Young Rider of the Year, Rowdy Adams. Someday, that's going to be me, Melissa Limpicki, riding at the international level of 3-day eventing. But was it always this way? How did we get to the format we know today? Eventing was originally developed to test cavalry officers' charges. Dressage tests the horse's control and obedience, and many of the movements were used in fighting. Cross-country tested a horse's courage and bravery over a diverse terrain. The show jumping showed the horse's continuous soundness and fitness after the difficult cross-country course. When eventing was first introduced to the Olympics in 1912, it was only open to military officers on active duty. For decades, there was only one format for 3-day eventing, but in recent years, a new format, the short format, was created, which eliminates the roads and tracks and steeplechase portion from the endurance day. The short format is now the predominant form of 3-day eventing, but the long format can still be seen in some competitions today. The long format usually lasts about 4 to 5 days from arrival to departure, and included roads and tracks and steeplechase along with the current dressage, show jumping, and cross-country phases. Let me walk you through a long format 3-day event. Day 1. The rider and horse would arrive, collect their information, and settle down. The rider would also walk the endurance course. Day 2 of the competition is the first vet check. For the first vet check, the horse is neatly braided and wearing only a polished bridle. The rider jogs and walks their horse on a loose rein in front of a series of vets and judges. Making a good first impression is crucial, since the judges watching will be judging you tomorrow. The vets then perform a close inspection. They're looking for any signs of lameness or health problems that may impede the horse in the endurance for the rest of the 3-day. If the horse is deemed allowed to continue, the rider would attack their horse, remove their braids, and then have another opportunity to walk the endurance course. Day 3. Day 3 is the first phase of the competition, dressage. Dressage is used to test the horse and rider's balance and precision by performing a series of predetermined classical movements in a flat arena. Each movement is scored between 0 to 10 points, and the scope and difficulty of the movements vary based on the level at which the rider is competing. The points are added together, then divided by the total number of points possible. This percentage is then subtracted by 100 to get the rider's final score. The goal in dressage is to get the lowest score possible. At the completion of the test, the rider would attack their horse and have another opportunity to walk the endurance course. Day 4 of the competition. Day 4 is the endurance course. The endurance course consists of 4 phases, A, B, C, and D, with a 10-minute vet check between phases C and D. Along with the normal tack, the horse would also have a breastplate or martingale, boots, and an overgirth. The rider may also grease the horse's legs to help them slide over the jumps better. The rider would have a safety vest and penny, along with a medical armband and watch. The rider would also write their times down on their wrist so as not to be late. Phase A of the competition is roads and tracks. This is meant to be a warm-up and should be ridden at a brisk trot with some cantering. Length and speed vary based on the level at which the rider is competing. Phase B of the competition is steeplechase. In steeplechase, the horse and rider gallops around a track and jumps about 4 to 7 hurdles. Phase C of the competition is a second roads and tracks. This is meant to be a cool down and should be ridden at a relaxed trot with some walking. Immediately after phase C, the rider will move to the 10-minute vet box. In the 10-minute vet box, the rider has 10 minutes to bring the horse's heart rate, respiration rate, and temperature down to an appropriate level. This is also time to put on shoes if your horse has lost any, and for the rider to take a break and have a drink of water. At the end of the 10 minutes, the rider will be advised if the horse is allowed to continue. If so, would move immediately on to phase D of the competition, cross country. In cross country, the horse and rider jumps a series of 20 to 32 solid jumps set over diverse terrain. Because of the solid jumps in diverse terrain, this is considered the most dangerous part of eventing. This competition is scored based on jump faults and time. For phase A and C, roads and tracks, each second over the optimum time is 1 penalty point. Phase B of the competition is scored based on jump faults and time, and each refusal is 20 penalty points, and each second over the optimum time is an eighth a penalty point. Phase D of the competition, cross country, is also scored based on jump faults and time. Each jump fault, if the horse refuses, the rider is awarded 20 penalty points, and each second over the optimum time is a fourth a penalty point. At the completion of the endurance course, the rider then begins a long process of cooling their horse out to prevent them from becoming stiff and possibly lame. This process will vary from rider to rider and horse to horse, but most riders would walk their horse, then cold soak their legs. Riders may also bandage their horse's legs or use a liniment gel to help alleviate tension or aches. Riders are also allowed to give their horse a predetermined amount of bute. Bute is an anti-inflammatory similar to aspirin. After this, the rider would continue to walk their horse until they are fully cooled. Day 5 of the competition is a final vet check and show jumping. For the final vet check, the horse is presented and only a bridle to a series of vets. The vets are looking for any signs of lameness or health problems that may have occurred from the strenuous endurance course the previous day. If the horse is deemed fit to continue, the rider would then prepare for show jumping. Show jumping tests a horse's balance and agility over jumps of varying heights and widths. In show jumping, the horse and rider jump about 9 to 15 jumps in an enclosed arena. Show jumping is scored based on time and jump faults. Each second over the optimum time is 1 penalty point, and a refusal or a knockdown rail is 4 penalty points. At the completion of the competition, the penalty points are added to the dressage score. The rider with the lowest score is the winner of the competition. Because of the physically demanding nature of a 3-day event, riders are not allowed to simply sign up for one. There are requirements that must be met to compete in even the lowest level of 3-day eventing. My goal for this year is to qualify and compete in a novice level 3-day event. Novice level is the lowest available level at which a rider may compete in a 3-day event. To qualify for a novice level 3-day event, I must complete 4 recognized novice level events without being eliminated. I have recently completed my 4th qualifying event and am preparing for the 3-day. As the rider moves up in the levels, the requirements become harder and more demanding to meet. For decades, there's only been one format for 3-day eventing, the long format. But in recent years, the short format was created. Competitions such as the Olympics adopted the short format in 2004, and competitions such as Rolex, the Badminton Horse Trials, and Berkeley Horse Trials adopted the short format in 2006. The short format is now the predominant form of 3-day eventing, but there is hope that the long format will make a comeback. Because of the current trends in training off-the-track thoroughbreds who excel in the endurance phase, perhaps these second career horses will bolster renewed interest in the long format. Thank you.